Should overweight passengers pay more for their flight? Should people who are big tubsters pay more to go on holiday? Yes, yes, yes. Aviation's been in the news recently because there has been a recent plane crash which over 100 people died, and this has caused a major conversation with aircraft in general. And one topic that I think has been quite prevalent in all of this is how much should you actually pay to go on certain aircraft? If you weigh more, should you pay more to fly? This is quite a controversial topic simply because fat people in general do not want to pay more for being fat. Now, this is the thing when it comes to this argument. For me personally, a lot of it, I agree with the statement. I think obese people should pay more to fly. Not in a fat shaming term, but just in economics. You know, if people weigh more, they cost more to the airline, they take up more space, and on top of that, they make the ride less enjoyable for the people on the aircraft. For example, if you're there trying to enjoy some airplane food, you see a really fat person, you're going to think to yourself, oh, that put me off. And then you're going to throw up, and then they have to clean it up, the cleaners do. So that's why I support the statement. But then on the other end of the equilibrium, what's that? I've been doing chemistry revision. How could you tell? You know, some people weigh more, but are not fatter. They're just taller. I weigh like 66 kilograms, 67 kilograms. I know if a girl's, say, 5 foot and she weighs the same as me, she's going to look a bit tubby. But at the end of the day, I still weigh about the same. So in terms of the fuel costs and everything like that, because obviously it costs more to fly a heavier plane, seems a bit hypocritical kind of. And also if you're jacked or strong, you know, people use that argument against the statement. So I thought to myself, why not watch this video and let's have a good argument, guys. I want everyone to comment. I want to hear your guys' opinions. This is quite an interesting topic because it makes me feel better about myself saying I'm a fit man. A lot of people who complain about this are women, and I feel like the main reason why is because women, generally speaking, have a higher fat percentage just naturally. Let's get watching. It's predetermined by genetics.
Joined now by fitness writer Danny Levy, who agrees and believes all passengers should be weighed at check-in and charged based on their weight.
Whereas plus-size body coach Michelle Bell says this is nothing but...
That's a job title. Plus-sized coach. People need to be coached about being plus-sized? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna lie, I hate this trend of, oh, being plus size is sexy, great. Being fat is a bad thing for many, many reasons. The health side of it, and on another side of it, it has connotations to being lazy, greedy, whatever. I get like why you would want to be positive about that, that's great, but then when it feeds into, oh, I want to be plus size, that's when it becomes an issue. And when people who are plus size think it's so good that they don't put any effort in trying to lose weight because they don't desire to at all.
Says this is nothing but fat shaming. So, Danny, let's start.
Okay, straight off the bat, the plus-sized coach, which is an accurate job title that exists, straight away her argument is dumb because she is literally ignoring all aspects of the point. If someone has a point, for example, should obese people pay more to fly? If you respond to that negatively and go, no, it's just fat shaming, your argument's already flawed. For a good argument, you need to actually consider the other side of it. Fact of the matter is, if you charge obese people to fly, the airline will make more money, which is good because it costs more to fly them. So there are reasons behind it. It's not just fat shaming. God.
Okay, so first of all, yes, I think she is fat shaming to an extent. But let's be open and honest about this. I have written numerous stories, real-life stories on people who, as a result of fat shaming, have actually lost weight and turned their lives around.
Okay, why is she representing the businesses? The people who are actually behind this logically, they understand how economics work and they understand that fat people are a liability in a business. Not gonna lie, specifically an airline.
I would argue...
So insulting someone's okay?
To an extent, because I think that fat shaming is actually saving lives. And I think that those passengers...
That's not a good argument. It's not, sorry to say. I mean, it sucks that she's saying this because I'm personally someone who, you know, I support the statement, kind of. I think if you're obese and you don't have a medical reason to why you should be obese, yes, flat out you should pay more to fly. I don't think it should be a surcharge of goddamn 9 grand. It's awkward to what you would consider is obese. It probably would cost more to implement than it would actually benefit the business. And on top of that, like, what would you call it? Fat tax. Like, it needs to be something that's quite nice. I'd love to imagine how Ryanair would word it. Large body fat percentage surcharge tax. You're like, what? I eat too many donuts tax, pretty much. That's it, okay?
Whilst they will have been offended and deeply hurt, perhaps that's necessary for them to turn their lives around, for them to lose weight. Because
damn, she's dumb.
It's okay.
Why is she the one representing my argument? Well, not even argument.
It's not right. It's damaging their health.
Well, there you go, Michelle. She's doing everyone a favour. Is that right?
Yes, because those two ladies, or the gentleman and a lady, are going to rush home.
I don't know what video they're talking
into a diet plan, and they're going to suddenly become size 10 overnight. Because all of that shaming that they've just received, both on that aeroplane with the 200 or 300 passengers and now all over the internet, that's going to suddenly make them want to move to the gym. Because just sitting on a plane means that they get shamed, but going and running around the block to get exercise, that's going to be really open to them now, is it?
You know what? She has a fair point. I don't think, though, it's relevant to the argument, because the point is not a moral thing. This is not a moral thing, okay? I feel like a lot of people who argue this point are people who are like, oh yeah, we need to fat shame people, we need to put them down, then they'll lose weight and then we'll save lives. Yeah, but then suicide rates will go up and so will depression, so maybe not so good. But on a real note, this statement is only for airlines to decide. At the end of the day, if they add a surcharge to fat people, how does it benefit this woman? It doesn't. It only benefits the airlines. And the airlines are a business, so they don't care about fat shaming passengers for them to lose weight. They care about taxing them, so they pay more, so they make the money that they lose with their larger mass, i.e. freighting it in the air.
The thing is, with that, up until the point, she's making a point, she's paid for her ticket, and she's sitting in a very crushed state.
Yeah.
I think a lot of sympathy once she starts to get insulting.
She was crushed, but was that by the two people beside her?
Which they clearly were. Let's not dispute that. They clearly were. And they were making another passenger uncomfortable. They, I believe, if they choose to fly, should book themselves a lot.
Well, firstly,
so what
you
do
can't
you do?
actually book two seats. You aren't actually allowed to book two seats on a flight.
Then book yourself an emergency exit.
You're not.
Okay, this woman clearly does not know what she's on about. You can book 2 seats. It's very, very easy.
A lot of people who are plus size do actually have health conditions that prohibit them from using those seats.
I think that you're making excuses for plus size people because you're plus size and saying it's okay
well,
to
I'm
make
plus size,
other
I don't have a health condition, but there are lots of people out there who are plus size.
Yes, you do have a health condition. You're obese. I don't get that stigma around that word. Just because you're obese, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It's just a medical term. But she's literally saying, I don't have any health issues. You're literally obese. And plus size is such a weird term because plus size to me means thick. Like, I'll show you what I think plus sized is. Her. Like, she's plus size. But like, how's she plus size? Like, flipping heck. It's such a wide category. It's just dumb.
Are you saying it's okay that they should make another passenger feel uncomfortable because they're
Does that mean
plus
that
size?
if somebody is that uncomfortable with sitting around people that they don't know or that might have a bigger dress size than them, then they should book themselves?
Are you dumb? the person who they're referring to is someone who was trapped between 2 massive fatties. Okay, this person's making out like, oh, the reason why she was so angry is because of the dress size of them, not their physical structure, even though it was fully the physical structure of them too that was causing them to be angry. But then again, it's not right to fat shame people in an aircraft, because when you think about it logically, if you fat shame someone over the internet, they can turn the computer off, they can turn the device off. If you fat shame someone in real life, they can walk away, they can move away. If you're in an aircraft sitting next to someone and you fat shame them, they have to be with you. Like, they can't get away from you. So in my opinion, that is wrong.
You're saying that actually this is more than this. This is fuel for the airline. This is costing more money for everybody because people are overweight. So you want to see people being weighed at check-in as if they were luggage.
Okay, this is stupid. I think there should be a section that says, are you a large passenger? And then you should type in, you know, if you're large or not and qualify to pay a tax. So you should put in your weight, and it should be a trust thing. And if you look bigger than what you proclaim, there should be a discrepancy detected, and then there will be a fine maybe. That's what I think should occur, not literally a weigh-in at an airport, because that becomes really tricky to comprehend, because there are some people who are bodybuilders, right? Would they have to pay the tax? In my opinion, honestly, I think if you're a bodybuilder, if you're someone who's very big, you should pay more to fly. Not in a discriminatory way, and it's the same with obese people, but they still weigh more, they cost more for the airline, and again, they cause other passengers to be uncomfortable because they take up much more room than the one seat that they've purchased. But weighing people is weird because you can weigh a lot and be small still.
You get to the airport and they look at you and think, oh, that's going to use more fuel on the plane, so would you pop yourself onto these scales, please?
I think that you...
Just want to mention, fuel costs are completely linear. It doesn't matter if you've got 20 kilograms extra muscle than an average person or 20 kilograms of extra fat. It doesn't matter. It's fuel. It doesn't matter at all. It is hard to find that line. You know, I don't know.
You should be charged for the total weight of yourself and your baggage. Whether you're tall, whether you're plus size, it doesn't matter.
That makes more sense. Like, her argument actually is not discriminatory at all, because she's looking at it just at weight. But then when you look at her, she's thin, she's wearing these massive heels. Something tells me that she doesn't weigh much. So she would seek the benefit out of that, you know?
Then you should pay
Well, Luke
more
Jensen
money
here, who's a researcher at the International Centre for Air Transport, he said a £50
I don't think it makes
weight
much more of a
increase
difference.
would increase fuel consumption by about $3 to $5 per person.
Holly, you
so
and I...
it's a tiny amount, isn't it, actually?
It is, but...
Yeah, that's the thing, though. The tax shouldn't be like 100 quid. Like, the tax should be a little bit. Like, if you look at the fuel, right, I think she mentioned it's 2 or so quid more to fly someone who's 50 pound heavier, which is like 20 kg, I think. So I weigh 66 kg. Coincidentally, the plus size example, she's probably about 20 kilograms more than me. It would cost her, you know, a good 2 or so more quid to fly, fuel-wise. But then if you take into consideration how much space she's occupying on the plane, you know, maybe you could round that up to 5 or 10 quid. But then still, the airline's just charging you more, and the people who are made uncomfortable are not getting anything from charging the big person more. In fact, the opposite's probably going to happen, because the fat person's going to be triggered that they have to pay more, and thus be explosive and go into a rage because they can't eat because they're on the plane, and food is limited, man. Think about this, love. You can choose to work out, you can choose to eat well, and you'll probably live a happier life. It's more about how you carry your weight, literally, rather than how much weight you actually are. If you're a fat person and you don't care about it, and you live your life and you don't complain about being fat shamed, people will respect that a lot more. If you don't act like a complete pussy, people will respect that a lot more. There are fat people that I know, fat people that I've met, they don't care about it, they make jokes out of it, and I don't care about it at all. But when there's people who are fat, they're constantly crying about it, they're constantly sad about it, not literally crying, but they constantly whine about it, you know, they complain about how their life's so hard, they try to give excuses for it. You just think to yourself, okay, I don't like them. And that's why people have this hatred towards them as such. It's how people carry their weight, I think, more. Thank you for watching. Smash like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new today, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye.